Brandon Drake, functional nutrition coach and therapeutic chef at heartfulfoods.com. So I'm going to continue the conversation of the different ways or different methods in order to heal a leaky gut. This is video number 3. And the reason why there are so many different methods is because everybody is unique. So therefore, everybody is required to go on a different journey in order to get to the same destination. And that destination is to heal your gut lining or to heal your leaky gut, otherwise known as pathogenic intestinal hyperpermeability. So essentially, the way you can get a leaky gut is through such lifestyle factors as not getting enough sleep, continually not getting enough sleep, having chronic stress, or always over-exercising. Also, too, when it comes to nutrition, it's consuming inflammatory foods that are continually doing damage to your intestines. Now, the thing is, your body does a good job of actually repairing those damaged intestines every 3 to 5 days. However, they reach a breaking point where it decides, you know what, I'm not going to repair your intestines anymore. You're making me work too hard. So it decides not to repair itself. This is called a loss of oral tolerance. So when you actually experience a loss of oral tolerance, now when you eat these inflammatory foods, what happens is you have a leaky gut. So those undigested food particles in the inflammatory food, they get into your intestines, actually into your bloodstream. And your immune system sees it as a foreign invader. Therefore, it attacks it, which creates inflammation. And this inflammation can lead to dysfunction, and dysfunction eventually will lead to disease. So these things, these unwanted symptoms will happen if you're continually leading an unhealthy lifestyle and continually eating these inflammatory foods. So the different ways, what I'm going to get into is the different ways in order to heal your leaky gut. Of course, all these nutrients that I'm going to be describing, they're not going to work if you are not following an anti-inflammatory diet and leading a healthier lifestyle in terms of making sure you get enough sleep, or not over-exercising, or you're not chronically stressed all the time. So none of these ingredients that I'm going to mention will not work if you continue to lead an unhealthy lifestyle along with constantly eating inflammatory foods. So the very first ingredient is collagen. So collagen basically helps repair the damaged cells of your gut lining. So collagen also comes in a capsule, comes in a powder, it's up to you, and it comes in food. And also collagen is a prebiotic, which basically helps feed your beneficial microbes, allowing you to be healthier. So, like I said, if you have any digestive issues or malabsorption issues, in the past, what I do for my clients, I would highly recommend that they go the supplement or the powder route. However, if you don't have any of those digestive issues, then you actually could get it through food, and what's really healing is actually bone broth. Bone broth contains a lot of collagen, and bone broth is really easy. You could actually make it on your own, or you could actually buy it from the grocery store. However, I highly recommend my clients make it because it's very easy. All you do is take any amount of bones that you have from any of the meats, whether it could be lamb, chicken, or cow. Basically, you throw those bones into about 4 to 8 cups worth of water in your pot, and you want to make sure that you get organic bones, because if you get conventionally raised bones, those contain chemicals like antibiotics and other different chemicals within the bones. And essentially what's happening is after you slow cook that bone broth, you're going to get a chemically infused bone broth for yourself, and that's not going to do you justice by consuming these chemicals that have unknown issues. So definitely avoid the conventional bones, get organic bones. So essentially, you throw in your organic bones into 4 to 8 cups worth of water in a pot. Then the required ingredient is making sure that you throw in at least 1 to 2 tablespoons worth of vinegar. I use apple cider vinegar. You could use whatever vinegar you like for yourself. Basically, the vinegar extracts the nutrients from the bones. So if you don't use vinegar, you're not going to get all the nutrients from the bones. So you want to make sure you do that. So basically, the bonus is you could actually add additional vegetable clippings or whatever spices you want, but the required things are the bones, obviously, and the apple cider vinegar or the vinegar. And then basically you bring it to a boil, and then when it starts boiling, then you simmer it, and you simmer it for at least 10 hours. The longer you simmer it, the better the flavor gets, the deeper the flavor is. So it's actually great. And after it's done, you strain it, and then you could consume it raw in a cup, like take a cup at a time, or you could use it as soup base, or if you can't eat it all, you could throw some of it in the freezer and eat it accordingly. I use it in all of my soups because I want to continually eat healing foods, or I want my clients to continually eat healing foods, and it's always good for them to have some bone broth. So like I said, bone broth has collagen, and the next ingredient is actually L-glutamine. L-glutamine is actually a protein or an amino acid. You could get L-glutamine in a capsule or powder, or you could get it through food. And again, the food that contains L-glutamine, again, is bone broth. So bone broth is definitely a healing food that helps heal and seal your leaky gut. L-glutamine basically tightens up the tight gap junctions. Imagine the tight gap junctions as your security gates. If you're continually leading an unhealthy lifestyle or continually eating inflammatory foods, what happens is the security gates get looser and looser, and therefore it allows undigested food particles or macromolecules to get into your immune system, into your bloodstream, and then your immune system attacks it, creating inflammation, leading to disease and dysfunction. And so these are things that you want to avoid, so you want to continue to eat that bone broth or to take L-glutamine supplements in order to heal or tighten up that security gate, otherwise known as the tight gap junctions. And the next thing is licorice root extract. So licorice root extract basically helps, again, heal and seal your leaky gut. And when you get licorice root extract, it could come in a powder, a tea, or a liquid extract, or in a capsule. And you want to make sure that when you do buy licorice root extract, you get it in a format called DGL. D is in dog, G is in go, L is in love, DGL. Basically, DGL is processed in a format that's safest for humans to consume. So that is the third one, which is the licorice root extract in DGL format. And the fourth method is the avoidance of NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Basically, examples of NSAIDs are ibuprofen or aspirin. Basically, so many people are overusing these over-the-counter drugs. And when they start overusing it, it damages your intestines. It also creates intestinal bleeding, which leads to a leaky gut. So you want to avoid these anti-inflammatory drugs. And you could actually get anti-inflammatory foods instead of taking these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And the foods that are naturally anti-inflammatory are ginger. So ginger contains gingerol, and you could actually get fresh ginger or spiced ginger. And also too, another anti-inflammatory food is turmeric. You could actually get a spice turmeric, or you could actually get the fresh turmeric. And essentially what I do is I actually use these spices, the fresh ones and the spices. I use it in a lot of the dishes I make, specifically my breakfast. In my steel cut oats, I make a fancy steel cut oats with many different spices like cinnamon, a little bit of salt. But the consistent spices that I always put in there, I either put one or the other or both. I put in turmeric or ginger in there. And basically what I'm doing is I'm consistently creating a anti-inflammatory diet. Now, I don't have any inflammatory issues, but I'm being very proactive, and I urge my clients who are healthy to still be proactive when it comes to the health. So yeah, that's that. And essentially after that, I also put in my steel cut oats, I also put apples, diced apples. So with the diced apples, when you slow cook your steel cut oats, the diced apples, when they get cooked, they release pectin. And pectin is another ingredient that helps heal and seal your leaky gut. So there's many different ways to help repair that pathogenic intestinal hyperpermeability, otherwise known as a leaky gut. So if you have any questions, please go to heartfulfoods.com, go to my contact form, ask me whatever questions you want, because it gives me ideas on what new topics I could talk about in my presentations or in my blog articles. And also too, I'm offering a free 30-minute consultation for those people that are interested to find out more about me. And my goal is to really get to know you, to find out what your health concerns are, and to see if both parties want to create a long-lasting relationship based on accountability for the goal of achieving a healthier and better you. Again, my name is Brandon Drake, functional nutrition coach and therapeutic chef at heartfulfoods.com. I look forward to hearing from you.